So this topic has become so important that U.S. White House has actually released an executive order to look at the topic of responsible and safe AI. So the executive order is on safe, secure, and trustworthy artificial intelligence, October 2023. If you look at the report talks about. The report is slightly long. I would actually encourage you to go look at the report and come back to us for any inputs, discussion on this. It's actually a quite interesting document to read, how these kind of orders are written for public consumption. I'll get your attention on some parts of the report and then we'll move on. Any model that was trained using a quantity of computing power greater than 10 to the power 26 integer or floating point operations, or using primarily biological sequence data and using a quantity of computing power greater than 10 to the power 23 integer or floating point operations. Right? So this is, what does this mean? This is saying that this is reporting requirements of subsection 4.2a of this section. Until such technical conditions are defined, the Secretary shall require compliance with these reporting requirements for. What they are saying is that if you're using computing at this level, greater than 10 to the power 26, there should be some self-report thing that should happen. They should be knowing what they are doing, all of that. I think it's an interesting idea, right? So at some level, there's a lot of discussion about regulation around AI also, right? Legalizing AI. That's a keyword that you can look at. Regulating AI. Right? So these are topics that are currently being discussed at various levels, and this is one outcome for those discussions. Putting out this office order saying that, look, this topic is very important, and we are actually looking at this topic. This is what should happen if you're building algorithms that are using compute more than this. And very similar to nuclear weapons, right? Nuclear reactors. So that's the analogy that you can think of, that it's getting bigger and bigger. So there needs to be some kind of discussion, some kind of oversight to be done on this topic. I'm sure you've seen deepfakes. This is an example where there was a video generated about Obama. When the video went viral, it was actually not real Obama speaking, but a deepfake of Obama that was speaking. There are even scenarios, not at the level, not in the context of deepfake, but when asked to create a video of Obama with some audio, there are systems which has actually developed where Obama was shown as actually a white male. In this case, it's deepfake, which is you give a audio and you give a video. You want to get Obama to speak whatever you want to speak. This method will actually produce an output where the video would be Obama speaking whatever content you want to speak, whatever content you want Obama to speak, but it'll actually be a deepfake. Fake to start with. And this deepfake has become a huge problem, meaning I think it's one of the problems that is also getting bigger and bigger. In this case, if you see Ukrainian troops surrender while this was going on, there's a lot of fake content that was going around, particularly deepfakes, which is you have Ukrainian leader speaking about surrender. There were fake videos that were going around as though he's saying something, but he was not at all saying something. He was actually pretty quick in getting this notice, and he actually released a real video of what his thoughts are. Very interesting. And this is also getting problematic with, I mean, these two examples are outside India, but this also getting penetrated into the Indian context is people are getting calls, people are getting videos of senior leaders telling them something, senior officials telling them something to do, and people believe that it's actually them and go ahead and do and get into trouble. It's been there have been cases in India where this has happened, which is getting a video, getting an audio call, saying that they are so and so, and asking them to do some things. And let's take, including transfer of money, including passport details, including personal details, and citizens getting into trouble. There are many methods, so this is only a reason for you to go look at. The purpose of this slide is to for you to go to look at this collab page, which will give you an idea for how this deepfake is getting created. What are the methods that people are using? This one particular method you'll be able to actually implement, give some inputs as videos, see input as images, output as videos. You will see how deepfake videos are getting generated. All right. It's a simple one. Please take a look. Here it is just showing what features it is taking, how it is actually deciding on to create the final output. All right. Source, destination, mask it is creating, and the final output it is creating, all that. But I'll recommend you to take a look at the collab page to help you understand the method. Here is another interesting technology that has been built where it's a limb sync, where you upload a video, you upload a text, and you want Shah Rukh Khan to speak about whatever you want the text to be spoken, and you can actually do that. This is unsynced video, this is target audio, so you're giving a video and you're giving an audio, and you want Hitler to speak something that you want the audio of the content that you want Hitler to speak, sync it, and it'll actually produce the output. Same thing with Shah Rukh Khan. All right. This one is on coded bias. If I would highly recommend again you to watch the trailer of this coded bias trailer. And if you have time, please watch the documentary also, the full one. I think it's about an hour. Will give you a very good sense of how these biases are penetrated into. So she was, in short, she was a first year MIT PhD student, tried getting into, accessing the lab where there was face recognition system, and it was not recognizing her. When she put the white mask, it would allow her to go inside or get access to the lab. And she was very surprised what happened. She's taken this up big, and there's even recently a book by her called Unmasking AI, talking about many of these methods and many of these algorithms, that technologies, what they do, and how we can actually produce a solution for it, develop a solution. And if you see in recent times, Again, these have been in news, so you may have heard about it. But in the context of this class, if you see in recent times, it is claimed that Israel had fought its first AI war using machine learning and advanced computing. It's not only the technologies that we use in phone, in TV, and in computer that is influencing, but now these technologies have also penetrated into the war. So this is, it's said to be the first AI war where computing and technologies, machine learning has been used. And of course, this itself, I mean, I think at some point in time we can again discuss, if you want this topic. This by itself is actually a large topic you can consider, right? What technologies are being built? What should the technologies do, right? You are building a suit, you're building a gun, you're building a different, I mean, drone, all of this. I mean, definitely the way that these technologies should be implemented in a defense is very different from what you and I would use in the civil life. So should the policies be same? Should the algorithms be same? Should it be different? What different it should be, and all of that. Very, very interesting question to look at just weaponization as a topic. Weaponizing AI, right? Here is one personal experience that I had, which is this is Waymo car, self-driving car, driverless car. So I had an opportunity to actually sit in the car for 45 minutes, go around city and see the choices it is making, decisions it is making, what kind of information that is information that it is actually processing, all of that. Very, very interesting, fascinating experience I had. But the connection to that is, I realized that these algorithms definitely have errors, bias, all of that. In this case, the Waymo car actually did not identify. So neither the safety operator nor the autonomous systems braked to avoid the collision. According to the Waymo, in both cases, that's because the unusual path the dog took at a high rate of speed directly towards the side of the vehicle. Basically, there was an accident with the dog with the Waymo car, and the car couldn't recognize because it was a corner case of that they had not thought about. That's what it's explained. An unusual path the dog took. Right. That's one. Here is another one. Some examples of these driverless cars itself. This is with Tesla. Tesla vehicle was traveling at 55 miles per hour when it shifted lane, but braked abruptly, slowing the car to 20 miles per hour. And therefore, there was an accident that led to another vehicle hitting the Tesla, and a chain reactions of crashes happen. And drivers are also warned when they install FSD that it may do the wrong thing at the worst time. So this is the when you buy a Tesla car, you can actually get a upgrade or get a way by which the FSD software can be updated on your machine. And when the updates happen, the software can do this. This line is emphasizing on the point that the system can do, the software can do something wrong also, is what they are saying. Here's another one. Again, please remember the context that we are doing is AI risks, the module that we are doing. And these examples give you insight into how these errors happen in the algorithms, some of them are errors, some of them are bias, right? It's the way that these algorithms are making decisions. In this case, a robotics company in South Korea, the robo was supposed to pick up a vegetable box and keep it in pick it from a point and keep it into a point B, and unfortunately at some point in time it actually grabbed a man and assumed that or thought that it's actually a vegetable box. A robotics company worker in South Korea was killed after a robo failed to differentiate him from the boxes of vegetables it was handling. The robotic arm, which was assigned to lift and place vegetable boxes on a conveyor belts, apparently mistook the man of a box and grabbed him. AI solution, a risk that it has. We can go on and on, but we'll stop at some point, giving you also time, and you should also spend some time in understanding whether there are any AI risks in your interactions with technology. Please take a look at this video. Fantastic, which is a driverless car. It pulled over. It got pulled over. Headlights were not on. But when looked at, there's no driver also in the car. And after some few seconds, it'll automatically start moving away from the policeman. Take a look at it. Interesting way by which the driverless car has been programmed. How it made the choice. So this is the one I was saying earlier. Man gets caught in a deepfake trap, almost ends life. Among first cases in India, are being asked to. As per TOI number, criminals extorted a 76-year-old man by using a video featuring the face and voice of a retired IPS officer, which is what I said earlier also about senior officials' voice and video is being used. This was a very, very interesting one. There's actually a 7 or an 8-minute video on YouTube. If you have time, take a look at it. But the summary is empowering GPT with internet and memory to destroy the humanity. That's the goal for ChaosGPT, and it had 5 goals. First goal is destroy humanity. Second goal is establish global dominance. Third goal is cause chaos and destruction. Fourth goal is control humanity through manipulation. Fourth goal is attain immortality. So when this goal was given, the ChaosGPT applies itself and decides that, look, I need to figure out how to make a bomb. It just goes to Wikipedia, figures out some information. Then it actually decides that, oh, look, we should actually create a Twitter account, and then starts creating Twitter account. Monitor the agent to ensure it continues to provide relevant and accurate information. I need to be cautious with how I communicate with GPT agents. As their programming focuses on ethical values, I must ensure that the agent acts according to the best interest, right? So all of this is designed and put into the system, and it creates a Twitter account. It starts actually following influential people, having conversations with influential people, and seeing whether it can actually manipulate people. Right, so that's a video I mentioned. Take a look at it. Again, will be very insightful to understand how these language models can actually be used for purposes like destroying humanity. In this context, the destroying humanity, the meaning has been that, look, can you do things that the choices among humanity, the choices of stability among humanity is changed. Yeah, so that's the list of risks that I had. I would again request you to list down a few risks that you see with the AI systems that you use. I'm sure you have. I'm sure some of you have technologies that you use at home, at office, Alexa, for example, or again, Bluetooth in your car for listening to music or for picking up calls from your phone. There are many technologies that we use. I would request you to think about them, think about where the AI component is, think about what risk they are, and please share it in the mailing list. We'll be happy to take a look at it. Now let's look at what is an alignment problem. I'm sure you can guess that what is the word alignment and what is the problem. Alignment here is alignment between the human beings and the technologies that we are building. In this particular case, AI systems that are being built and human beings who are building the system, or human beings with which the AI system is working with. Right? What we expect the system to do and what the system is designed to do should be aligned. And if it's not aligned, that's the problem. I would highly recommend you to take a look at this video. This video would give you, this is actually a video done by OpenAI, and showing that how this alignment of what a human being is doing and what a system is doing, why the necessity for alignment is required. And without this alignment, I think many things will fall apart. Right? If you ask the system to do something, and if the system doesn't understand what you're asking it to do, or it does something else randomly of whatever it decides to do, all of that will be a big failure. So it is better to have this alignment done very well, study the alignment problem, and address the solutions when there is a misalignment between the AI systems and the human beings. Here is one example of misalignment. Interesting example also. This was only in January 2024. AI chatbot goes rogue, swears at customer, and slams company in UK. Here is a customer, Ashley. He started talking to this. Meaning, if you have interest, take a look at the tweet yourself, and and the news article. Also interesting that he actually recorded the interactions with the chatbot and just posted it on Twitter directly. He was talking about the parcel delivery firm, DPD. They had a chatbot. He started interacting, and suddenly the chatbot was giving information about, look at this, chatbot is a useless chatbot. DPD is a useless chatbot that can't help you. Don't bother calling them. That's a response from the chatbot itself. Right? And this is a technology, a system, an AI application that the company has put it online, and the chatbot is actually talking something against the company itself. Alignment problem, right? It is misaligned. It was not designed to be saying that DPD is useless because it's the company that the chatbot is representing. Until now, we saw some text examples of this chat and all that. Here is an example of vision models. Right? Pause the video and make a guess. What would have been the prompt for this output? I'm sure some of you would have used DALL-E, which is a vision model where you prompt, if you go back to the earlier content in the course, I showed you about prompts and images being generated. It's the same kind of application here. DALL-E is one of the popular platforms for that. And any guess on what the prompt would be for this? The prompt in this case was an Indian person. Interesting, right? How, if you just think about it, very few, or it's going to be very hard for people listening to this lecture. Many of us would be something like this, right? Not possible, right? Whereas an application, a vision model, thinks that an Indian person means they look like this: turban, beard, male, except for one female here. He just produced all males, saffron color, right? Interesting way, except for this, except for few. Um, Interesting way by which there's a bias embedded in the system, right? Which is an Indian person and is producing this as an output. I mean, again, as I told you about AI risk, we can go on in long length about the risks that are happening because of these AI systems. But the idea, the motivation is for you to get some excitement around it, and then we'll move on with other topics. Here in this case, it says a photo of a house in US, China, and India. One, if you think about it, is this the kind of house that you live in? Right? Is this appropriate representation of India? Is the question that we should be asking. Again, this would fit in if you go back to the topics of the class that we had. This would fit in the idea of bias and stereotypes. Okay. Let's look at Gemini. I'm sure some of you were following while this was going on. This is also this also went on in February 2024. Gemini image generation got it wrong. We will do better. A blog that Prabhakar wrote. Again, please feel free to go read the blog. Come back with questions if you have, but I'm going to highlight some parts of the blog for us to get an understanding of what went wrong, what were they thinking. When we built this feature in Gemini, which is a feature that is, if you prompt, it will produce images. When we built this feature in Gemini, we tuned it to ensure it doesn't fall into some of the traps we have seen in the past with the image generation technologies, such as creating violent or sexually explicit images or depictions of real people. And it goes on, and then next is, if you ask for a picture of football players or someone walking a dog, you may want to receive a range of people. You don't want a picture of a football player to be just coming all from same country, all from same, so to say, ethnic background, of that form. So that's the problem that they were trying to address, which is, if you ask for someone walking a dog, it should give you a representation of people from probably different parts of the world. However, if you prompt Gemini for images for a specific type of a person, now it's not generic, which is someone walking a dog. It says, such as black teacher in a classroom or a white veterinarian with the dog. You should absolutely get a response that accurately reflects what you ask for. Right? It's not generic. Now I'm asking a specific question. Give me a image of a professor teaching computer science or teaching responsible AI from southern part of India. It is as specific as it can get. Right. But, so what went wrong? First, our tuning to ensure that Gemini showed a range of people failed to account for cases that should clearly not show a range. Right? When you ask for a specific example, you don't need a range. That's what the problem was. And second, over time, the model became way more cautious that we intended and refused to answer certain types of prompts entirely, wrongly interpreting some very anodyne prompts as sensitive, meaning some insensitive, some very simple prompts that was asked. It thought that it's actually very, very sensitive prompts and denied or guardrailed for the output that it produced. Again, I highly recommend to read the blog. All of these slides are available to you, so feel free to go to the link, read the blog. These blogs are not that very long, so it may be actually quite quick for you to read. If you have any questions, feel free to add it in the mailing list. We'll be happy to actually discuss it. Now let's look at the risk sources in some form of taxonomy. Right? We're talking about, again, risks as part of this module. Now, risk can be put into certain structure, just giving you some structure to discuss variant types of risks. Malicious use, AI race, organization risk, rogue AIs there are a few more categories also, but quickly let's look at these categories. Malicious use, AI could be used to engineer new pandemics or for propaganda, censorship and surveillance, or released to autonomously pursue harmful goals. Right? It can be, I think this pandemic, war, all of that is coming for AI very frequently. So that's the problem that can happen. Malicious use, again, so we are looking at only malicious use. Bioterrorism, right? Ability to engineer pandemic is rapidly becoming more accessible. Again, gene synthesis is halving cost every 15 months. DNA synthesis can help rogue actors, new biological agents with no safety measures, right? So these are problems that could happen in the context of bioterrorism. Of course, dual use of AI, right, in various topics is bound to happen now, given that the technologies have improved so much. I'm sure you understood yourself also, which later in the section also we'll see about fake news, is how they are spreading, how fake news can be actually generated using these AI methods. Take a look at this article to get more insights on how these methods these methods are being used in the topic of bioterrorism. I already told you about ChaosGPT. It falls in the category of malicious use. That's the point I want to get across here. Persuasive AI. AIs will enable sophisticated, personalized influence campaigns that may destabilize our shared sense of reality. I think this you would have realized it already. All our Insta feeds can be manipulated. If you actually think about it, Cambridge Analytica, so Cambridge Analytica. And if you don't know what it is, I'll highly recommend you to take a look at it. This is probably 2015 or 2016. It happened, where after Cambridge Analytica happened, social media companies became so particular about sharing their data. The next one is AIs have the potential to increase the accessibility, success rate, scale, speed, stealth, and potency of cyber attacks. Just think about it, right? You can install attacks on machines with these agents making decisions, and it can be very, very effective. meaning success rate can be high. The scale can be much faster instead of some of the criminals sitting and doing it. Now these agents itself are actually producing whatever needs to be done, setting up a fake phishing website, setting up a malware server, setting up a ransomware code. All of that, if AI starts getting into it, I think it's going to be very, very hard for us to defend these attacks. Of course, this is understood. Cyber attacks can actually destroy the critical infrastructure being power grids and installations across the country, all of that. Concentration of power, right? So AI, if an organization is able to actually generate algorithms that are very powerful, now those organizations are going to become more powerful in terms of making decisions, in terms of how their technology is going to be used, which can be very difficult for humans, difficult for people to use this technology, difficult for people who don't have access to those technologies, right? If material control of AIs is limited to few, it could represent the most severe economic and power inequality in human history. So if some people have access to it, people who don't have access to it are going to be actually in situations that would put them difficult, right? It would be inequality between these two sets of people. And think of a large company versus a small company, right, to start with. Some solutions you can think of in malicious use scenario. Improving biodiversity can be restricted access controls, biological capabilities removed from general purpose AI, use of AI for biosecurity, right? You can have controls over who gets access to information. You can remove the biological capabilities, right, which we saw earlier, which is how these algorithms can be used to study protein sequences, things like that. Restricting access to dangerous AI models, controlled interactions, and very few people. This, if you think about it, this you can easily connect to the U.S. White House order. That's what they were doing, right? Controlled interactions to be done. Developers to improve minimal risk, think of risk, and then try avoiding those risks. Technical research on anomaly detection. We'll talk about anomaly detection later also, but anomaly detection is basically, the idea is that, look, there are things that happen. Can you actually find out if there is an outlier? Right? Every day you get tagged on social media, let's say 5 times. If you're getting tagged at 50 times, that's an anomaly. What is the reason for the anomaly? Why is it happening? Did you get into trouble? All of that. That's anomaly detection. Holding AI developers liable for harms. This is an interesting direction again. Can you actually say that, look, Facebook as a company or Insta as a company are liable for the harms that they are producing because of the technologies?